Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain. Welcome to the weekend preview ahead of sort of in between Christmas and New Year's Day games. It's relentless, isn't it? Those poor players having to play so many games. Anyway, I am recording before the Manchester City and Wolves game has taken place, but with an unassailable, 4.5 point lead, I think, Gaz Monster absolutely tore it to shreds this Boxing Day / today / 27th of December for 13.5 points. As I said, 4.5 or so, I think that's 4.5 ahead of the real villain. And he himself is a mile ahead of Gears Cayley. I mean, they've been an absolute class of their own. Yeah, I mean, after it's relatively close, but well done, Gaz Monster. That is a very, very well-deserved golden cap. And you do already have the credit there. If we look at the league table, though, Parramatta Power has absolutely fallen in a heap this Christmas. I think he's had too much Christmas lunch or something, but 4 points he now finds himself behind Kabrov. The real villain has overtaken him as well. Now, obviously, as I said, the Manchester City Wolves game will still come into play for this one. But Parramatta Power down to third. The once insurmountable king, undisputed king of the Predictor League, down in third. Rujistan is only just a little ways back, and then goes Adam Riley, myself, and Gaz Monster, who, if this form keeps up, could still find himself winning the whole thing, I think. I should say, if you are new to the channel, welcome. There is a link to join the Predictor League down in the description. You probably won't be able to win, but Golden Cap Glory is up for grabs every single match week. So there we go. That's how the league table stacks up. All hail our Lord and Master Kabrov 9 with a 3.5 point gap over the real villain, who's just very, very quietly been coming into contention. So I wouldn't write him off just yet. We're only just at the halfway point of the season, so a long, long way to go yet. Now, let's have a look and see what we're up against here this upcoming match week. Now, it's going to be tough, this one, isn't it? Because, I mean, some players will barely have gotten home from the Boxing Day game, and they'll be off again for this one. Brighton versus Bournemouth. At least those two are nice and close. They've had some tough games. I don't think they've been playing badly. I think they might be able to do Bournemouth here. I'm going to say 2-1 at home. Brighton will get the points in that one. Newcastle versus Everton. Newcastle got absolutely ripped to shreds by Man United. Everton's been looking okay. Ancelotti's in there now. I think maybe a 2-1 away win there, perhaps. Southampton, who's been on a bit of a tear lately, against Crystal Palace at home. I'm going to say they can keep the good times going there. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to say there. They kept a clean sheet against Chelsea. No reason why they couldn't do it against Crystal Palace. Now, oh, this is a big one for my boys. They just about snuck through Norwich. Now, I picked Norwich to win that, didn't I? So I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to say 2-0. Villa's no chance. And I'll sacrifice the points if it means Villa get the win. Norwich versus Spurs. I mean, Norwich, they look a little bit doomed now, don't they, unfortunately? Look, Gazmont's already doing his picks, or raring to go after this midweek round. I don't blame him. It's tough for Norwich, isn't it, though? Tottenham are looking a better team. I'm going to say possibly 3-1. I'd like to see Norwich do well. I do like Norwich, but if it comes down between Villa and Norwich, who goes down, enjoy the championship, Norwich. West Ham versus Leicester. Now, Leicester have got a bit of a touch-up, haven't they, against Man City and Liverpool. Is that going to dent the confidence, or they have to rebound, don't they? I'm going to say that they're good enough to do it. West Ham aren't a great team. Jamie Vardy gets the job done. I'm going to say 1-0, only just. I think Leicester will win that one. Burnley versus Manchester United. Now, Manchester United, I actually watched the game away to Watford. They were horrid, but obviously rebounded well against Newcastle. Burnley at home will be tough. Say 1-1 maybe. I'm going to say Burnley win. There we go. Arsenal versus Chelsea. I didn't see their game, the Arteta's first game in charge. Chelsea were, from what I understand, a little bit disappointing against Southampton. Let's go for a scoring draw. Everybody's happy then. Liverpool versus... Look at that form from Liverpool. Are they going to get tied legs? That's the question here, isn't it? And there's another round, of course, coming up sort of midweek next week as well. Are tied legs going to play a factor? You would think that Liverpool would have a deep enough squad possibly to get the job done. So I'm going to say 3-1, they get the job done there. Manchester City versus Sheffield United. This could be a strange one. But I don't think Sheffield United... Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I don't think Sheffield United perhaps have the squad depth to play at their best over this Christmas period. I think Manchester City might be... I hate to underestimate them, but I think it might be a game too far. And then they've got this other game coming up here. Again, don't get me wrong, I want them to do well. I'd love them to make Europe. But I just wonder if it's going to be a little bit too far for them. So there we go, guys. I can see, as I said, only Gaz has put his tips in. Don't forget to do your tips before kickoff tomorrow. But yeah, there we go. And of course, Kebrov and the Real Villain are now 1 and 2 in the table there. Now, quick update of the Fantasy League. I've had a decent week this week, mainly down to having Trent Alexander-Arnold in my team. I wish I'd captained him, actually. But I found myself back up in second. It's still Volt GFC that lead the way. What's that? 29 points ahead of me. I've just skipped ahead of Cobra Chickens. And we can see their Jokers and an average squad bringing up the rear. Now, my team for this particular weekend, I haven't actually made any transfers. I was going to transfer Rashford out and bring in Ings. But I've looked at the games coming up. Southampton have a couple of tougher games. United have a couple of games I'd fancy them to get some goals in. So I'm going to stick with Rashford. But I have brought Schmeichel back in instead of place of Pope. So I just figure West Ham away. Maybe Schmeichel's more chance of a clean sheet than Pope at home for Manchester United. We're going to go with Alexander-Arnold, my Turkish friend, and Tarkowski as the back three of the defenders. Cantwell, Ali, he's not going to be captain though, I don't think. Sterling and Mount across midfield, and Abraham, Vardy, and Rashford. I think you almost have to go with Sterling, I think, as captain, don't you? I don't really see a way around that, if I'm honest. I don't really have anybody else I would particularly want to captain. We've got Ward-Prowse on the bench. I'm keeping my Sheffield United defenders just well away from this one. I fear a little bit for them this week. Yeah, so there we go. That's my fantasy team. Like I said, that fantasy football is for Patreons. There is a link to my Patreon if you're interested. And what I can do is, if you join now, we'll give you the average points of the league, so you still have a chance of winning the whole thing there at the end. But there we go, guys. That is it. Don't forget to put your tips in. I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you ahead of New Year's Day for yet another weekend preview. Take care.